Hi guys, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and today we are going through some anticipated releases. I don't normally do anticipated releases videos. I just don't normally anticipate books. It's a lot of effort to think about the books or the series that you need to finish and then to look up their release date or just keep track of lists of what's coming out when. It's a lot of work. I just see what comes out based on who's posting what on different social medias, and if I want to read it then I go and I buy it. But I was just in the mood to have a look and see what could potentially be coming out in the last half of the year. We're getting into autumn, which is fantasy season, YA season, and I really just wanted to see what was coming out, and I was not disappointed by some of the books that I saw, so I thought I'd put together a list. I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, I have no idea if these are the US or the UK dates. I should have probably looked into that. So some of these might be coming out in 2021 in the US but not in the UK. But either way, there is a date for these books that is set for somewhere in the world to come out in the last half of 2021. So here are some anticipated releases. If you guys like the sound of this video and you want to see more from me, then why not hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here. We just be talking about books basically all week. So you guys are going to want to stick around if you like what you've seen so far. And now, rather than rambling on and boring you, let's get into some anticipated releases. So the first book that I am anticipating the release of is A Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. Now this has a kind of sucky title. I don't love the title of this, but I have heard such good things about Sally Rooney's books. I keep meaning to pick these books up. As I said, I've heard good things. I believe one of them is being turned into a TV show, I think I've heard. And so I feel like, get this book, either binge read them or just read this one and see what I think of Sally Rooney's writing. This one does sound like, I mean, they all kind of sound up my alley, but I've just been very nervous to read them. But this one really sounds up my alley. So this one follows the ups and downs of 4 young adults. There is travel involved, there is a friends to lovers situation involved, and it feels like a rom-com. It feels like one of those rom-coms about 4 people just thrust together, and they all have different backstories, and you get to hear all of these different backstories and how they link together. And it deals with travel and breakups as major themes, which I am just here for it. I think it's going to be a really good book, and I imagine this is going to be on quite a few people's anticipated releases because it's Sally Rooney and she seems to have taken the adult contemporary world by storm. So very excited to wait for this book to come out and kind of jump in with a new release, I think, rather than going back and reading some old ones when I'm going to be super influenced by what I've heard or other people's reviews. Let's start my Sally Rooney journey off with a brand new book and then go back and read the others once I have my own opinions about her writing and stuff. This seems like a good plan to me. The next book that I am excited for is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. TJ Klune is the author of House on the Cerulean Sea, which is another book that really took the book community by storm. Everyone loved it. And again, this is a book that I haven't read but have really been wanting to, and so I'm anticipating the release of this second book, even though I haven't read his other book. It sounds amazing. The plot of this book is that the Grim Reaper comes to collect our main character after he dies and then falls in love with the ferryman. And so the guy just refuses to move into the afterlife because he's fallen in love with the ferryman. It's so unique and so ever so slightly fantasy, and everyone loves TJ Klune's writing so much and everyone adores House on the Cerulean Sea so much that I just cannot wait for this book to come out. The plot sounds right up my street, it seems so cozy, and I just really want to read it. Then, very exciting times, Stephanie Garber, the author of Caraval, has a book coming out later this year. I have literally only just read Caraval. I really enjoyed it. I loved how Stephanie Garber constructed a story, so I am hyped for this book. And this is called Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is just such a good title. I feel like it's going to be just as magical, just as good. I am so excited for this. And this is about a young woman who makes a dangerous deal with the Prince of Hearts because the person that she is in love with is about to marry someone else. I feel like this Prince of Hearts fellow is going to be a little bit dodgy. I feel like we might have a bit of a Kingdom of the Wicked scenario going on here. I'm really, really excited for this. I think this sounds so good, and given it's Stephanie Garber, I can see this like blowing up in the book community. So maybe pre-order this one because I think it's going to sell out quite quickly, and I think it's going to get really hyped and you're going to want to read it. So I know I will be pre-ordering it. This is crazy because I feel like Stephanie Garber hasn't put out a book in so long, and now we're getting one. Woo! This came at the perfect time, just as I was getting into her writing. And then to be a really, really predictable booktuber, the next book on this list is Our Violin Ends by Klune Gong. This is the sequel to These Violent Delights. And to be the worst booktuber in the world, I have not read These Violent Delights yet. These Violent Delights is a Romeo and Juliet retelling based in Shanghai, and I follow Klune Gong on TikTok. She is really, really funny, really, really down to earth, and judging by a lot of the TikTok she makes, this is very, very influenced by political history and like war tensions that have occurred in China throughout history. So I really, really want to get my hands on this book. I have been wanting to get my hands on this book for so long. It has been on my wish list for a really, really long time. I really, really want to read it. I can read These Violent Delights and then pop right into the second book. That is the benefit of being late to the game. You don't have to wait a whole year for the next book to come out. I'm definitely gonna be getting to These Violent Delights now that Our Violin Ends is coming out. If, like me, you still are not on the These Violent Delights trend, now would be a great time to hop on it for us, I think, before the hype starts all over again. Because I don't know about you, but I feel left out and I want to be part of this hype train. And then the last book that I want to talk to you about that I am so excited to have coming out is The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik, and this is lesson 2 in the Charlemagne series. I love that it's lesson 2 and not book 2, so I just had to include. It's just such a small detail that I really, really love. I really enjoyed A Deadly Education. That's the only Naomi Novik book that I have read and genuinely enjoyed. Loved the setting. We ended on quite a big cliffhanger, so I am so desperate to see what Naomi Novik does with the story now, where it goes, what's happening with the tension between these two characters, what's going to happen with the cliffhanger, what's going to happen with the setting, because the setting is such a big part of these books. The whole plot of the Charlemagne series is that it takes place in a school that is a demonic school that is basically trying to kill you, and this school like spawns demons that try and kill you, and you constantly have to be looking out and teaching yourself how to fight them and teaching yourself how to survive, and then you graduate by surviving, basically. I'm just really excited to see what goes on next. Yeah, I've seen some very mixed reviews of A Deadly Education, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the most unique books I've ever read. I have to cast my memory back a little bit to remember the rating, but I believe I gave it a 4 stars. I'm just absolutely ecstatic to see that the next book is coming out before the end of the year, hopefully in the UK as well, and I can completely like delve into it, and I have already pre-ordered it. I am so excited. And so there are the books that I am anticipating the release of for the last little bit of 2021. There's not a huge amount of books on this list just because A, as I said, I don't really anticipate the release of books. It takes a lot for me to be excited about a release of a book, and B, there's really not that long left of the year. Like, it's quite depressing how little is left of the year. So yeah, this isn't a huge long list, but I hope that you found some book recommendations either way. I hope that you enjoyed watching. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. It really means a lot that you guys like want to watch my videos and listen to me talk about books. It just makes me happy every single time I see another view on a video. So thank you so much. Do feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of me and more of my book recommendations. As I said, there is no shortage of bookish content here, and I read a lot of YA contemporary and adult and YA fantasy. Those are kind of my genres. If you're interested then and you like those, then you might want to stick around. I hope that you guys have a fabulous week and you enjoy everything you are reading, and there are absolutely no reading slumps in your life at the moment or in the future, and I will see you next week for my next video. Bye guys.